Michael?
Ken, I'm with Republican Roger Bodman and Democrat Rick Thigpen, and let me ask each of you what you've been hearing today about turnout or anything else. Rick?
Well, so far turnout seems to be moderate to light. It's right within expectations, though, for the battle plan, because the Democrats have ID'd their voters and they got to get them to the polls. They're not relying on people just to be self-motivated to get out there.
Hearing anything, Roger?
I'm hearing exactly the same. Things are pretty normal out there, Michael. I'm hearing roughly 58%, a little bit more than last time, the 97 election, but the average for a gubernatorial election is roughly 60% turnout. So, yeah, things are going pretty smoothly out there.
You've watched a lot of gubernatorial races. You managed one in '81. Has this been an interesting campaign?
It has been interesting, but it's been obviously overshadowed by the tragic circumstances in New York. So it's really taken, it's sort of like they gave an election and no one came, you know. I've seen very few articles on the front page of the newspapers about this gubernatorial election. Have all been on the front page of the second section, for example. So it's been unusual in that regard.
You want to characterize it?
There's no question people just aren't paying attention like they normally would. They have greater concerns in their minds, their own security, the health of the nation, etc. And it's been hard to gather people's attention. It's been hard for Jim McGreevey and Brett Schundler, but it's even harder for the legislative candidates.
In terms of polls, the thing has been kind of stagnant for the past 4 to 6 weeks. We haven't seen much movement. Does that coincide with what you say about the climate? People distracted by terror and anthrax?
There's no question that the attack on September 11th probably robbed Brett Schundler of any real chance to gain the public's attention and win them over. And so therefore he's been stuck in the 30s. He just hasn't been able to catch fire.
You agree with that, Roger?
Yeah, it was like there was a timeout in the campaign, Michael, for 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, the guy that's behind in the polls, and Schundler was at that time and seems to have remained behind throughout, is the one disadvantaged in that situation.
Very quickly, 15,000 get out the vote workers on the Democratic side. That sounds like a lot to me. Is that historically a lot?
That's a lot of voters, and more importantly, they've identified a whole lot of voters for those people to work on getting out. They're not just blindly pulling, they're identifying specific people they've talked to already.
10 seconds. Do you know what the number is on the Republican side?
I don't know if it's 15,000, but it's sizable, and it's the same type of targeted effort. They try to determine who's going to vote for Brett Schundler and make sure that person votes.
Roger, Rick, we'll hear from you more all through the evening. Kent, back to you.
Thank you, Michael. A key Senate race that